What's going on, everyone? So Clint Capela of the Atlanta Hawks is available, and he may actually be kind of the key that the Lakers need to kind of kill multiple birds with one stone, right? Now, Clint Capela isn't ideal. I mean, he's still a double-double machine, still block shots. I do think him alongside Anthony Davis would be a very good pairing. You could bring Clint Capela off the bench, you could start him, right? I do think Clint Capela is still a valuable piece, just not at the price in which he's being paid. He's being paid a hair under $23 million, making 22 and some change, which is way overvalued for him. He's clearly on the decline, at least what we saw from him last year in Atlanta. Maybe alongside the Lakers, better actions, better players like LeBron James and Anthony Davis alongside him. Maybe he could be better. He's one of the best offensive rebounders, one of the best rebounders, period, right? Like, he would help solve a lot of the Lakers' problems. But to me, it's beyond that, right? It's not just getting back a center that can help for now and kind of fill that gap that the Lakers need, but also could you use Atlanta as a way to salary dump and clear roster spots and also be a cheap option to then go explore and do other things? Like, can Clint Capela in a trade with the Atlanta Hawks be kind of the first domino that falls that allows you to bring in other pieces, right? So Gary Trent Jr., for example. Lakers want to bring in Gary Trent. Supposedly Gary Trent wants to be a Laker, clutch, right? All of that. But the Lakers have problems, right? They got to salary dump. They got to be able to clear enough salary to bring him in without hitting that second apron, because they'd be hard kept at the second apron. But also beyond that, they got to clear enough roster spots and still have enough money to clear enough players on the roster for the season, right? Without getting penalized and all that stuff, right? So it is this complicated mess that the Lakers have to figure out. And yes, in a perfect world, it's like you go get Walker Kessler or you go get a Wendell Carter Jr., something like that, and then you're able to kind of salary dump in that regard, plus bring in a guy like that who I just think would be better for now and the long term, and then now you can bring in a Gary Trent. Now you can do other trades. You can do all that stuff, right? Like, that would be ideal, but is that really an option? Where, again, if I'm the Lakers, I would be patient and wait and see if those become an option, right? Maybe both of those develop. We know that the Lakers have at least made contact and have explored the idea of both of them. So I do think that the Lakers don't need to rush for Clint Capela. I don't think Clint Capela is going to have this huge market. Yeah, there's a couple teams that could use a center, like the Knicks could use a backup center, but at $22 million, makes things very difficult, very challenging in order to do that, right? Not every team can go and just trade for Clint Capela. Not every team would want Clint Capela. But to me, it's like, okay, let's say you can't get Wendell Carter Jr., let's say you can't get Walker Kessler, and it's like, well, you need a backup center, you need to clear off salary, you need to clear off roster spots. You could do something where you can maybe clear off multiple roster spots, and on top of that, bring in a center, and on top of that, go and sign a Gary Trent Jr., but still maintain enough assets to maybe still go pursue a Jeremy Grant, go pursue a Cam Johnson, go pursue maybe a couple guys. Because I don't see you having to trade a first for Clint Capela, right? Again, his contract, all of that stuff, it's not worth a first by any stretch of the imagination, and I would be shocked if a team gave him a first. So, can you get him for a couple seconds? Now, also, if Atlanta's doing you a favor as far as like salary dump and taking on players and stuff, well, then also you got to keep in mind that maybe you have to give up a little more, but still don't see you giving up a first. Maybe you could get Clint Capela for 2 seconds, but now you got to give up 3 or 4, which I don't think would be the end of the world if you can do now everything you wanted to do. So again, Clint Capela's making $23 million, let's call it, right? Could you do something where you're unloading, say, Rui and Gabe Vincent, and you're getting off of their long-term money, you're clearing $28 million, maybe throw in like a Jalen Hood-Schifino or something, so now you get to basically $30 million. You've cleared off now 3 roster spots, but you're bringing back 1, so that frees up 2, right? And you just cleared off $8 million, which is enough for you to bring in Gary Trent Jr., on the taxpayer mid-level exception, and you can even bring in a Spencer Dinwiddie or somebody like that and still stay under the threshold, right? So, because again, he's not making quite $23 million, and it is slightly more than 30. So Now, all of a sudden, like, yes, it would suck to lose Rui. It would suck to lose, Jalen Hood-Schifino as a young prospect. I know some people might not look at it that way, but you're bringing in Clint Capela. Also, Clint Capela would be an expiring contract, right? So you can look to maybe move him down the line. So now you have a piece where maybe if something else develops later on down the road in, say, at the trade deadline, you'd have a $23 million tradable asset now at that point that you could use to unload, where a guy like a Gabe Vincent, teams might not want to take him. Or even Rui Hachimura, they might look at it as like, he's still got a couple years, right? So maybe you could do something like that, or maybe you even do like a 3-team, right? Where, the Brooklyn Nets, they want D'Lo supposedly, right? So if they want D'Lo, maybe you could work something out to where you're getting back Cam Johnson and you're getting back Clint Capela. You're clearing off salary, right? You're giving up D'Lo and then some to the Brooklyn Nets. You're giving up like Rui and Gabe Vincent, and now you have your first. You have Gabe Vincent, or maybe you have to give up one first for Cam Johnson, right? So you still have a first. You still have 3 pick swaps. You still have, let's say, 2 seconds. But now you still have multiple guys that you could still unload. You still have Clint Capela again in his $23 million contract that at the trade deadline you could look to maybe flip and explore. You're able to bring in Gary Trent. You're able to bring in Cam Johnson. You're able to bring in Spencer Dinwiddie. So basically you're sending out some combination of like D'Lo, Rui, and Gabe Vincent. Again, you got to add in some little salary pieces here and there. But let's say you're doing something like that. You're bringing in Cam Johnson. You're bringing in, a Clint Capela. You're bringing in a Gary Trent Jr. And you're bringing in Spencer Dinwiddie. You're staying under the cap. You're following all the regulations that you need to follow. And you've gotten upgraded, you've gotten better, and you still have flexibility to make other moves, right? Even Gary Trent, let's say Connect really emerges and comes out, right? You got Gary Trent that you can maybe even add to Clint Capela, and now you got $30 million that you could potentially, again, towards the trade deadline, or, maybe you're looking, because the Lakers are exploring potential Jared Vanderbilt trades, right? So maybe you do take Jared Vanderbilt and you go and you flip him somewhere, right? And maybe you take Clint Capela and Jared Vanderbilt, because now you got Cam Johnson, and now you have $33 million in tradable salary. Plus, you could always throw in, one of these vet minimum guys or something like that, right? Like, to me, I think it's the potential of Clint Capela being the first domino to fall to get you to other areas could help, right? Again, based on the market, what does the market look like? How does that shape up? Are there several teams kind of pushing for Clint Capela? Right now, it seems kind of quiet in that regard. Again, I don't think it's a move that the Lakers need to go, like, you got to go rush to the door right now, get Clint Capela, unload salary, do all that. I don't think it's something that the Lakers absolutely have to do at this moment. But I do think it is, again, another option that you can explore now to maybe look to like, hey, we can kind of do multiple things here in order to kind of bring in a player that fills a position of need, that also gives us a contract and flexibility. If he works, like, what if he's great for us, right? And it's like, it doesn't really make sense to trade him, right? Like, what if he is a double-double guy out there getting, 2 blocks or something like that, and he is slotted great alongside ADs, willing to come off the bench and accept his role, whatever. Like, if he's great, then you could just keep him and then kind of restructure, give him a new contract at, say, maybe $10 million a year, right? And now you kind of cleared $10 million off the books for next season, and you got some flexibility. LeBron could opt out, and maybe make some magic happen and kind of bring in another quality piece or two in the following season. I don't hate the idea. Again, it's not my favorite idea. I don't have like Clint Capela towards the top of my list of guys that the Lakers need to get, but I do think that you look at a team like Atlanta, they have some flexibility still to where they could take on couple pieces, couple salary things, bring in, maybe, like I said, you throw him a young guy, maybe you throw him like a Maxwell Lewis, or maybe you throw him a Jalen Hood-Schifino, and it's like, okay, we're kind of heading in this new direction. These young guys would be great, especially if we end up looking to trade Trey at some point, right? So we can bring in like a Jalen Hood-Schifino, we can bring in some of these guys, and then also help them clear salary, and I think it could kind of be a win-win for everybody. You throw them a couple seconds for basically, one, landing Clint Capela, and two, helping you clear some salary, boom, I think it's a win-win for everybody, right? Atlanta gets off of Clint Capela. They get some assets, maybe get a young piece or two. I think Rui is a guy that would help, right, with him and Rizeshe and Trae Young. Like, Rui gives you another guy that can kind of help, but he's still young enough to where if you do end up trading Trae Young, right? So Rui, there may be some, like, hey, Rui would be good. And yeah, like, it would suck to trade like a Rui for a Clint Capela, right? But again, if it's not just Clint Capela, then I think now it becomes a lot more stomachable. Right now, I think it's a lot more digestible because it's like, okay, yeah, we in technicality traded Rui for Clint Capela, but no, really, we traded Rui for Clint Capela, Spencer Dinwiddie, Gary Trent Jr., and we also were able to go and make a move, at the trade deadline, or still continue to make a move for Cam Johnson. Maybe we're able to work out a 3-team deal or something, right? Like, that to me gives you some flexibility. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion. I pass a question on to you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel? What are your thoughts? Now, do you like the idea of using Clint Capela, bringing him, you bring in a center, also you kind of clear salary, you clear roster spots, kind of a win-win for the Lakers? Do you think no, stay away from that idea, go get somebody else? Again, I would prefer a Walker Kessler. I would prefer a Wendell Carter Jr. What are the asking prices of them, right? Supposedly, the Jazz turned down 2 firsts for Kessler. Now, supposedly it was from the Knicks, so not all firsts are created equal, right? Danny Ainge is on record saying that the Lakers' firsts are the best on the market, right? It's a big difference between a young team that's going to be very good and potentially can win a championship or two in that tenure where those draft picks are going to be awful than a team that post LeBron James and Anthony Davis, who knows what this team looks like, right? We could be awful. So, again, I get why Danny Ainge would prefer the Lakers trades. But we'll see. We'll see how it plays out. Just another option, which I like. Because the more options, the more likely it is that something gets done. But anyway, again, however you feel, whatever your thoughts are, let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. Helps me enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.